What's going on, you guys? It's Keenan Briggs, sports consultant and mentor. Let's get right into it. These are the 10 most common questions I get asked from new parents when they're looking to bring their kids into track and field. So I'm going to be covering youth and also the middle school, high school age. So if you have specific questions, please comment them below and I will answer those questions in a later video. So the first question is what's the right age to start my kid in track and field? Now, the most organized or simple answer is 6 years old. 6 years old is an age where the athletes are on their way to having their brain actually harden. So at 7 years old, typically is where the brain moves from a certain state of consciousness. It's a lot. But at the end of the day, 6 years old is great. The reason for it is because they're more organized. They're able to bring information in and apply it. They have the motor skills for the most part set up already. That's a good age where they can handle all the chaos in track and field and have fun from there. Okay. Next one is, how can I find a good track and field club or program? So again, assuming that you're brand new to track and field, brand new to the sport, the first thing is you want to make sure you have a professional in the sport that's working with your kid. You don't want to have a random volunteer. Why? Because they may not know how to coach your kid. There are different learning skills. There are different communication skills that need to be had. And when you're talking to a 6 year old, it's different from talking to an 18-year old. And if you're having a coach that talks to a 6 year old like an 18-year old, it may work if that 6 year old has been here before. And if they haven't, then it might be just too much information to go from, right? Kind of like riding a bike. When you ride a bike for the first time, you're teaching, how to balance, what to be aware of and your surroundings, all these things, versus an expert might be just ride your bike, right? So having a coach that understands that specific piece. Anyway, so how to find it? You want to go to usatf.org. You want to type in find a club, then you type in your address, then it'll populate all the club teams that are registered and up to date with their documents and information on USATF. AAU probably does have that same concept. So AAU.org, and I believe it's a backslash of some sort for track and field, but those two will be the ways to find club teams. You can also go to Google. Thing is, you might have a harder time finding it because of the verbiage you may or may not use, but also a lot of the club team websites aren't as updated and they're old and it's hard to find information or get numbers. So if you go to the USATF or AAU.org sites, you're going to be able to find the information that you need. Next one is, what events should my child start with? Long jump. Start with long jump. Here's why. Long jump is first, you're on the runway. Long jump requires individual attention because coaches who coach the jumps will be able to see what's happening. From there, the kids are going to understand the value of every single step, because when you're long jumping, you jump from a board. You got to be able to run and get your feet down onto this board that's 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 feet away, right? Then from there, obviously there's other elements, but if you understand how to long jump, you understand how to create more force because you're having to move your body in a different direction. So all these things come into play. This is how I kind of base my program as well, Leap Squad. And we start with the long jump and then we move on from there to whatever events, because now they have the skill sets of where should their positions be, their checkpoints of their knees and hands and arms. They understand the value of everything so that when we sprint, now it's remember how we long jump and how we keep our eyes forward. We do the same thing when we run. So that's that part of it. I would say long jump. Now, if your kid has already been introduced to running, such as middle school, they have track and field. They might put them in the mile or, go run around the track. That's going to be longer distance. If they have tried that, then I would say then try the 100. You want to do the two extremes, long distance and short sprints. If they're not liking either one, then try the middle distance, which is the 800 or the 400 or even the 200. Then from there, you can branch off to the other technical events. But at the end of the day, I would say start with trying a mile, try the long jump, and try the 100. Those three will be the ones I would say are the most important. I would say if you're going to start with one and start learning, start with the long jump. How much does track and field cost? Honestly, it's a lot cheaper when it comes to club sports than other club sports. I know volleyball is like what $3,000 to $4,000 per season. Track and field can range between 500 for a season to 4,000 for the year. My club team is about 4,000 for the year. The reason for it is you have professional coaches, which is night and day when it comes to the experience with your kid in the sport, and the learning and the speed. The next thing is going to be just facilities. You're paying for uniform, you're paying for your spikes, and that's kind of it. Track meets will range for USATF. It's about what $4 to $5 per event that you do at the meet, and then AAU, I think it's between $5 and $10, something like that. Either way, it's still fairly cheap. But baseline, I would say, if you're going with the team that's volunteer ran, it might be $1,000 to $1,500 for the year to do the actual sport. If you're going high end like my club, it's going to be around $3,000 to $4,000 for the whole experience, professional coaching, and so much more. If you're a part of a club, you can also expect other fees to incur, which are going to be travel fees for national events, things like that. But if you're doing more of the recreational stuff, it can be, fairly cheap. And if you have questions more about that, please write in the description below. I can answer those questions. Okay, how often does my kid need to train? I'll keep it simple. We train twice per week. That's it. And the reason for it is because I don't feel that the kids need to train so much more than that, because we have track meets that are 1 to 2 days also on the weekend. So in 1 week, we'll have at least 4 days of track and field activities, right? Other club teams will do maybe 3, but again, there's 1 to 2 days of track meets on the weekend. So now you're looking at 5 days of track and field activity. That's a big commitment, right? So what I'll say is this: we go year round, twice a week. And in that year round program, it's set up to where they're doing different things for the year. Late summer, we are focusing on motor skills and development. In the fall, we're focusing on our conditioning. The winter, we're learning how to do events, and we have a winter track and field season. And then the spring, we have our spring season that goes and bleeds into the summer national part of the season. So we're working different parts of the body, so we're not overtraining. It's simple breakdown of body parts and training those parts and progress through. Other teams only do track and field when track and field is in season in the spring, which is why they might need a couple more days of practice to help get the kids back into shape for that specific sport. So baseline is 2, 3, but I would say anything more than 5 days is way too much. Okay. Next thing is, does my child need prior experience to join? The answer is no. The reason for it is track and field is all self-paced. You're going to have athletes of all different abilities and ranges all in the same place. Join it, try it, see how you feel, have fun. And it's a safe sport. The next thing is, how can I help my child improve without being overbearing? Let the coach coach. And I'm pretty sure all coaches are going to say the same thing. You know, if you felt that you wanted things to be done differently, then you should get your certifications, get your qualifications, and then start your own program, because we would love more programs out there. There's a lot of kids out here in this world, right? But what I'll say is this: if there's things that you don't agree with or do agree with, simply take the notes and then give the feedback to the coach, if the coach is asking for it. If not, then ask the coach if he or she is willing and open to hearing the feedback. But if you're getting to the point to where you're not getting the certain experience that you feel that your child should have, just change teams, right? Then again, if you don't like any of it, make your own. But at the end of the day is, be supportive. I do have a book coming out called, well, I won't put that out there just yet, but I do have a book coming out 2025. And basically it's supportive of new parents just like this. And I will say this: the way to not be overbearing is to not really focus on the tangible results. Focus on the, like, hey, if you hit a new personal best, we'll go get ice cream, because now it's results driven. And if the kid doesn't reach that result, they feel less than. It's a number, right? What I would say is this: Each year, you should have a specific theme. The theme could be something along the lines of, this year we're going to focus on focus. The next year we're going to focus on leadership skills. The next year we're going to focus on recovery. Like having certain themes now could be, hey, let's celebrate and get ice cream after the meet because you gave 100% and that was our goal for this track meet. The goal we may have was make 4 new friends and be enthusiastic for your teammates. Did you do that? Yes, great. Let's celebrate that. If the kid feels like I didn't do as well, great. What did you learn from this experience? That's a way to be encouraging. The over forcing them or encouraging them to run certain times, to meet certain standards, make certain places, these things are out of your control, right? However, it is a part of being competitive, but finding that middle ground. And if kids feel like they're not meeting certain standards, then they're going to feel discouraged and they're going to leave the sport regardless. So, this is also another reason why you want to have a professional working with your kids because they're going to understand these concepts before you even start. Okay. The next thing is um, what are the benefits of track and field beyond competition, right? You're at fault. You, the athlete, you're at fault for every single thing that comes out of your results. Track meet ever, it's your fault. If it's the worst track meet ever, it's your fault, right? And it's because if it's always your fault, then you are always the one who can change the outcome and the way that you feel. If you feel that you've lost, it's your fault. You chose to feel that way. If you feel that you've won, you won because you chose to feel that way. If you fell short of your goals, but you're happy with what you did, then that's your fault, right? It all comes back to the same thing. The great thing about track and field is because you have so much control over how you feel, you also have control over your emotions, your reactions, right? You're choosing to respond versus react. All these skill sets are being taught within track and field, and you can bring that into life. You might have a goal and it takes you a year to achieve. Well, great, put that into life. You might have a goal and it takes you 10 moments. You can apply that into real life. There are so many skill sets that work with that. Then the most important thing that I think is great with track and field is being able to articulate how you're feeling and what you want. You're forced to do that because you might have a long jump and your coach says, what happened? Well, I felt this and I'm looking to achieve this. And communicating that is huge. So you can't pass the ball to someone else to make the game winning shot. It's all going to be on you. So that's what I love about track and field. Okay, last question is, what are the safety concerns with track and field? Um, One, I mean, this is for all sports, is making sure that you're hiring coaches that are safe and respectful. This means physically, emotionally. Also, it's going to be make sure you're wearing the correct shoes. Make sure you do that. That's kind of it. I mean, it's not like kids are going to get hit. You don't got to worry about your kid being too big or too small or whatever. And the greatest thing is like track and field is a healthy sport. You get to be in shape, period. Right? You can't be the world's fastest athlete and be overweight. The track and field sport is teaching you how to actually get up and be active. And this is also great because then you start asking questions about what should I be eating? You start asking questions about, what should I be are a part of a healthy lifestyle, which makes the sport so much more fun. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you follow for more, subscribe, etc. My name is Keenan Briggs, sports consultant and mentor. The reason why I'm qualified to give you these answers is I competed as a professional athlete. I've been coaching now for 21 seasons, and I have a club team who's been in business since 2012. I mentor athletes. I have a virtual team. I have so much more. You can visit leapsquadacademy.com to learn more about it, or you can visit keenanbriggs.com. Leap Squad Track Club is my Instagram handle. Keenan Briggs is my Instagram handle. I'll put all the information down below. I have over 1,000 videos. I believe it's 1,200 now, videos on YouTube teaching athletes how to long jump, and this video and so much more. So make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions, please email me at info@keenanbriggs.com, and I will most likely answer your question here on this platform. And If not, I'll send you the link of the question being answered here on this platform, and I'll see you next time.